Hi, this is Drew Loker, and in this part 2 video of using Serif Draw Plus to create an animation, you'll notice that I have actually deleted all of the frames except for one. One of the tips that I'd like to share with you is to be sure that you get your first frame like how you might want it to be throughout the course of the animation. For this project, your first animation, very simple, create an object, move it across the page. The second animation needs to be a scene with multiple objects moving with advanced animation. So I've started with a basic scene created, and now I'm going to duplicate that scene. Clone frame. No difference between the two frames initially. On the second frame, I'm going to move the water and the beach house further back into the background, and I'm going to move the dog further along. So I'm going to make the beach house smaller, and we'll move it over to the left. So I should have really moved the other object. If when you click on a shape you don't get the resize handles, you might have a different arrow called a node tool selected in the upper left hand corner. So you've got either the pointer tool or the node tool. The node tool is for a different operation, so you want to be on the arrow select or the pointer tool. Also, to change the fill and the line of your shapes in the upper right hand corner, when you click on your color swatches, you'll find the option to go to either line or fill, and your color wheel with the triangle in the middle will let you set the color, as well as the range of colors on the outside of the triangle. So I'm going to increase the water and I'm going to move the clouds along a little bit so that they're moving across the page. And I'm going to clone the frame again, and this time I'm going to make the house, and I want to go from the right side because I want the house to appear that it's moving smaller and moving down the beach, and I want the water to get a little bit more again, and the clouds will move on a little bit more. And you can color the clouds also, trying to keep this fairly simple. And then we're going to clone the frame again. Click on the house, resize it, move it over a little bit, move the clouds some more, move them across the page. Oops, move the background. Let's undo on that. Make sure you got the right object moving. Okay. And so as I'm creating additional frames, I'm moving the dog along, and the dog ended up behind the beach house, so I did have to right click on the dog, go to order, and bring forward. And I also went back a few frames and increased the length of my sand, and it did also have to be brought forward as well a couple of times. Order objects forward one. I had to do that a couple of times so that it would bring it up, because of it started to go underneath the water. And so what I'm trying to come up with is that the water is moving further into the background, and the beach house is moving further into closer to the shore. And so the dog is walking along, and I'm going to go back and probably animate its eyes. Go ahead and clone the frame again and move the clouds a little bit more. I think I forgot to move the clouds on that last one right there. Move our dog a little bit, move our beach house a little bit smaller, and move it further along. Make the sand a little bit deeper. And let's move the water further back into the horizon also. So in these last couple of frames, what I've done is I've gone back and made the clouds a little bit darker. And there's an easy way to do this after you've already done it. you can actually click on the cloud, change the color of the line and the fill, and change the transparency. So once I had changed one, I didn't want to have to redo each one, so I used the clone stamp tool, or the format painter in this case is what it's called. And so I'll show you on this last frame that I just created. I click on a cloud that I want to duplicate, click the format painter, and it copies the properties of that particular object I just selected. And then I click on the last frame, and then I go ahead and click on the cloud, click the format painter, click the cloud, and while one's selected, click the format painter, click it again, and I just keep doing that to each one. Except this frame, I want to make it a little even darker, so like these clouds are getting darker. And so I'm kind of darkening each one. It'd be best to kind of vary each one a little bit. And I want to make the background darker on this one as well. So we'll make each cloud. So now I'm going to go ahead and clone this frame here. And move our dog over, move our sand up. Move our beach house further along and make it smaller. Our water can either stay the same or go back and forth a little bit. And then we're going to marquee. We're not going to do that. I'm going to hold down my shift key and select multiple clouds at the same time. And you can group them and move them, but we really need them to move independently of each other. Even making them bigger or smaller would be nice. Trying to simulate motion. Think about some of the movies you've watched and how much goes into each one of those frames. For every second you're watching TV, whether it's a phone or a high-end Hollywood camera, those productions are at 30 frames per second at the very least, maybe even as many as 120 frames per second. So let's see what we've got so far. We'll click on our preview. Not too bad. So have some fun with this, keep working with it, and when you're done, and I would like to see a sun in this. I'd like to have the maybe even the next frame, some storm clouds come along and play around with some rain, maybe drop these clouds out, drop in some water, maybe a rainbow come up and move across the page. And I would keep developing this. But when you're done, we want to do a final save. This one I want to do a file save as, so it's different than my previous version, so I have multiple versions. And so for this one right here, I'm actually going to move this to my school folder and put it in my animation folder. And this one's going to be dog animation with house and clouds. The more you can put in a file name, the better. And we'll go ahead and click on save. So when you are done and you are ready to turn this assignment in, you may do multiple versions. If you finish one and you have plenty of time left, you may do a second version with a more thought out, well planned idea of what you'd like to do. Go ahead and click on File. And this time we're going to, so we want to export it as a GIF. So we're going to go File, Export as Image. You'll get a warning or a prompt to upgrade. Just close out of it. And the next screen will be the Export Optimizer. And we want it to be an animated GIF as opposed to any of the other options. GIF alone will not work. It needs to be an animated GIF. Go ahead and click on the GIF option. And then all the other defaults are the same, are good to go. And we'll go ahead and click on Export. And it'll ask us for a location. And go ahead and give it a file name, dog at the beach with house by your name. Not my name, your name. And animated GIF is good. Go ahead and click on Save. Once it's done, you can confirm that the save was completed. And There it is right there. Dog at beach with house. There it is. And so the next step is to upload that to your Google Classroom. I'll have to show you from a page where I'm a student of. You'll go to the assignment, click on classwork, reveal your assignment page, click on add, go to file, locate where you save that file. Hopefully you put it in your L drive and you'll navigate back to your L drive. But if you did put it in a different location, like your picture folder or some other document folder, maybe even a jump drive, if you brought a jump drive to class. So once the dialog box comes up to insert files using Google Drive, you'll click on select files from your computer, navigate to the location of your file. Mine is in my Dropbox so that I have access to multiple the files in multiple locations. And I want to go to my instructional folder and animation folder, and I'm going to look for the doghouse at the beach. Click on it once and make sure you should see a preview of the icon. All the rest of these are DPAs, and those will not be able to be viewed by me nor able to be graded and will be returned ungraded. So make sure you click on the one that actually, when you hover over it, it'll tell you it's a GIF. This is a type GIF, 1.71 megabytes, 1920 by 1080, which is the 1080 high definition. And I'm going to double click on it, or click on it and then click on open. You'll see it's listed, and then now we just simply upload. So mine took a couple of minutes to upload. And you can see after upload is finished, it takes me back to the assignment page, and you can do more than one if you have time to do. Upload more than one if you want, and delete the extras as you come up with a better one. And you won't have all these assignments listed like I do. I keep using the same classroom that I am a student of so that I can show this for you how you'll actually see it. And you can actually click on it to preview it. It will open up, and it should be an animation. Mine's not as smooth as I would like it, but I was moving quickly to show you the different steps so that you can get this done and finished. Alright, have some fun with this, and let me know if you get stuck on any of these steps. And the last step, by the way, after you're done, and I've called for the last turn-ins, you'll go ahead and click the turn-in button on the assignment. If you decide that you want to change, you do need to unsubmit. Please don't request access to a classroom assignment. Once you click on the turn-in button, it'll be in a turned-in state. You'll actually have to click the unsubmit button to make any changes to it. But you can do that on your own, and just click the unsubmit button after the turn-in button if you need to do anything else.